Time.
All right, Kryslyn, I wanted to sit down and show you a few things that I think you're really going to enjoy about having this new Corolla. Since yours is a 2021 with 15,000 miles, yours qualifies for our certified program. So the certified program, as you can see here, does get you a few really amazing warranties. The first one that I like to point out is you get a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty. It's what they call a comprehensive warranty. So, any of your vehicle's components that aren't normal wear and tear items are covered for that full year. So let's say you're driving along, that touchscreen stopped working, which is pretty unlikely, but let's say it did. It's going to be free. That would normally be a very expensive thing, but it's free under this warranty, which is nice to have. A big one is your 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. So that powertrain warranty covers most of your lubricated parts. So your engine, your transmission, your axles, a lot of the expensive things that keep that car running on a day-to-day basis. So for 7 years, 100,000 miles, and this is going to get you through college, your first great career, everything. You'll be handing this car down to your kids one day. So another thing that's one of my favorite parts too is we're all pretty busy, right? Let's say something happens, you run out of gas, or you lock the keys in the car, you get a flat tire, it can happen. Sometimes we don't have someone that's available to call at a moment's notice to come help you. This car is going to come with 7 years, 100,000 miles of roadside assistance. So you can hit the SOS button, you can also call the 1-800 number for roadside assistance. They'll bring someone out to help you out in those crazy circumstances.
That sounds great.
So to get the certification, what's really nice is we have trained certified technicians. They go through a 160-point assurance, quality assurance inspection. And so that's way you can really kind of have the peace of mind that you have a really good trained technician went through the vehicle. Kind of like when I showed you through the shop when we walked back there. So you also, it is very nice. And it's crazy how clean they keep it. So you also get there's no deductible, which is a big part. If a warranty is something that you have to use, you have to come in and come up with thousands of dollars and then get reimbursed, it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare, right? So in this case, it's something you can come in, we're going to take care of you and get you on your way. You got the Carfax report, which I'm going to show you here shortly, which is really nice to have. And one of my favorite parts too is, I know you're going to finance this vehicle, you're going to qualify for more new car financing rates versus something that's a used vehicle anywhere else you go. This is if it was a hybrid vehicle. Since yours is not hybrid, I won't go over this too much, but it's also nice to know. I know you'll probably have a hybrid vehicle one day. Toyota stands behind those batteries for over 10 years, 150,000 miles. Isn't that pretty neat?
That is neat.
So this illustration is really important to point out that you'll see if it's a Toyota certified vehicle, you can see how it's checkmarked on each one of these things, the 7-year, the roadside assistance, the 160-point inspection. If you were to buy this vehicle at a private party or another dealership that's not a Toyota certified vehicle dealership, you don't get any of this stuff. So you're missing out on a lot of value right there. So this part, there's a lot to go through. It's 160 things, so I won't point out everything. We'll put you to sleep here pretty quick. So, but I will go through a couple things. So you'll notice here, you got road test. So let's say a mechanic's going to get in there, he's going to do a cold engine start, make sure that's a cold car, start it up, make sure everything's performing properly there. From a road test, there's over 34 different things that they're testing just while they're driving it, making sure everything's feeling good. They do a frame, structural, and underbody exam, so if there's too much rust or anything that could be problematic, that's going to be inspected and taken care of.
Okay.
As you continue through, they look under the hood, they're going to check drive belts, hoses, air filters, all those kind of things, make sure everything's looking good. Functional walk around, they'll make sure your horn works, blinkers work, headlights, taillights, all that stuff, which is important, right?
Yes.
All those safety features. So as they continue on, we're already up to 131 things. It's pretty wild what they have to go through and check off on each one of these vehicles. Exterior appearance is very important. You can't have more than 3 panels damaged, or it can't pass that certification process. Airbags can't have gone off, stuff like that. So it has to be a like new vehicle. Same thing with your interior appearance. It can't be something that, there's big rips and tears in the seats and we couldn't detail out big stains and things like that, or really bad smoke smell or something like that. So it has to be, again, like a new vehicle.
Right.
Kind of like this Corolla we drove, right? Pretty nice.
Very nice.
This is some of the hybrid stuff that they would check. So one last things I like to point out on this. This really covers over a lot of what we've talked about. What I like to add to this is it is transferable. So let's say you have this car for a few years, you love it, But maybe one of your family members is like, oh, I really would love to have your car, and you're fortunate enough to be able to buy a different one and give this to them. That's transferable, so they get the remaining of that 7-year, 100,000. Also, what's neat is if you're traveling and one of these warranties has to be used, so maybe your transmission went out, you're traveling, they'll tow it to the Toyota dealership nearest to you, and even help pay for your hotel room. So, pretty cool, yeah. This is a good illustration of how the certification roadside assistance program works. We kind of covered it a little bit. You got jump starts, if you lock your keys in the car, emergency fuel delivery, towing, any of that stuff is covered for free for 7 years, 100,000. That's amazing, right? This last page, I like to point out a few things, and I'm not super mechanical, but it's nice to see all the different components that they're going to cover. So you got engine components, your manual transmission, since your car's going to be a manual on this new Corolla. You also have your axle assembly components. So it's neat to see. I mean, if it had a turbo wastegate or a timing chain or anything like this, a supercharger, engine mounts, all these things are covered. So it's not just a warranty on paper that doesn't really go into depth. I mean, it covers a lot of stuff. So I'll leave this here, and I'm going to work on getting you some numbers as we're figuring out this new vehicle for you.
Thanks again for your time. That gives me a lot of peace of mind.
Yep, thank you, Kryslyn.